Did you consider
I do not.
the chilling effect that this sort of threat of federal prosecution would have on parents' exercise of their constitutional rights to be involved in their children's education?
Don't believe it's reasonable to read this memorandum as chilling anyone's rights.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, stop fibbing. That was Senator Cornyn pounding AG Garland for, shall we say, cognitive dissonance about parental involvement in schools. Joining me now to talk about it some more is Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley, a very old and dear friend. He, of course, was at the hearing today. Senator Grassley, it's a great pleasure to see you. Welcome to the show. And
Thank you.
Garland, I mean, what does he think the memorandum is going to instill? Confidence? Or, we already know they were in cahoots with the School Board Association and the White House. What's your take on this thing?
It has a chilling effect on freedom of speech, the ability of people to communicate with their elected representatives, and obviously, parents have a total right to have a voice in the education of their children and take that voice to their government at the local school district, which is the school board. And when this National Association of School Boards sent that out, within 5 days he had this memo out. Now, about a week ago, or maybe a few days ago, the National School Board Association apologized for it, withdrew it. You would think that if he put these memorandum out that has this chilling effect on free speech and the ability to contact your school district, that he would withdraw it. But he isn't going to withdraw it. And not only that, but the whole idea of civility at a school board meeting, if it's going to be upset, local authorities can take care of that. There's no reason for burdening the FBI and the National Security Division of the Justice Department with these responsibilities. And then more so than his memo, clarifications that were sent out by various U.S. attorneys made it even more chilling than maybe what his original memo did. So he ought to withdraw it.
Did Garland tell you, or did he give any reason why he won't withdraw the memo?
Oh, yeah, because threats to public officials, including members of Congress, he said, but that would include, I suppose, any elected official, is a violation of federal statute, and that's why he would not withdraw it. But he isn't taken into consideration that a lot of people are not going to go to their local school board if they think that the FBI or some other agency of the government's going to be there checking to see whether or not they said something. And there's indications in these memorandums that go out by the U.S. attorneys that just pointing your finger or saying, we're going to get you at the next election is a threatening thing that it's okay for the federal government to intervene in. And that's wrong. It's just contrary to the principles of representative government and free speech.
Yes, sir. So he basically is saying there is domestic terrorism. He regards them as domestic terrorism. Let me ask you this, Senator. Did anyone bring up today Garland's son-in-law, who's in a business which promotes critical race theory? They write about it, and they counsel schools and other agencies to do it, making a lot of money. Did anyone raise that with Garland?
Yeah, it was raised by a couple senators, and very forcefully. And he, it was asked this way. Did you ask ethics if you should recuse yourself from this because of your son-in-law? And he just avoided answering it, and he more or less said that there wasn't anything to worry about and things of that nature. So he's not going to admit anything that a son-in-law might benefit from this, and he didn't, and he's not going to assume any responsibility that maybe it, even if it isn't a direct violation of the ethics, the appearance of violation is sometimes something you ought to take into consideration. And he's not taking that into consideration.
So basically, he just stonewalled today. He just stonewalled. And he doesn't understand why parents all across the country are furious at what DOJ and the White House is doing. He has a tin ear. I'm just going to ask you that.
Well, He did stonewall, yes. It shouldn't be surprised. You saw it on TV last week in the House Judiciary Committee. And I think the bottom line of it is that he's shown that he's not really running the department. You know, when these both Republican and Democrat cabinet people come to my office, I give them this advice: either you run your department or it's running you. And it looks to me like right now the department is running our Attorney General.
And the White House, too, Chuck. The White House, too. But it's great to see you, sir. You know, you didn't yell at me once in this whole interview. You know I love it when you yell at me. Love it.
Well, you didn't give me a reason to yell at you.
Thank you, sir. We really appreciate your time. Hope to see you soon.